and I'm going to finish the newspaper review and move seamlessly into a discussion about the victory of Sharon Graham in the Unite General Secretary election. And I thought to start, we could ask John, because John has been speaking highly of Sharon for a while, and there's a couple of stories in the paper today about her, John. You can see this feature about her motivation for getting into the union and being active, and also this story, which was really quite good to look at for everyone, regardless of who you voted for, that she's prepared to start taking on Amazon, working with other unions across the world. So could you tell us why you supported Sharon and what you thought of her campaign?
Well, I supported Sharon. I was pleased to make a video endorsing her. I always knew she would win, because the activist base that she built through the leverage department and organising department that she heads up has had some phenomenal victories over the last period. And I think this is the best news that the trade union movement could have had. I think it starts as a turning point. It starts beginning the fight back and the reorganizing and rebuilding a trade union movement. And I think the fact that she's talking about enabling rank and file workers and activists has to be the way forward. For too long, we've been immersed in top-down leadership. You know, that we just need some messiah who's going to deliver for us, whereas we need a strong movement. And for all the misogynist attacks upon her, all the disgusting attacks upon her, she stood firm. And you only have to look at the activist layer that were supporting her. And a lot, and what we have to make clear is that politics is not just about the Labour Party. Politics is about the trade union movement and building a base. And if you build a fighting trade union movement, then the politics follows from that. We only have Starmer and company in control at the moment because the trade union movement has been dormant for so long. And everybody, you know, the old media are talking about it being a shock victory. Anybody active in Unite knew it was nothing like a shock, that people who worked with her, the campaigns she supported and been involved in, were the ones that were behind her and enabled this victory. And the fact that she's prepared to take on Amazon has to be good news. She's already taken on British Airways over the fire and rehire strategy and had a victory over that. So I welcome the fights that are going to come, and more importantly, I welcome that we can start talking about proper trade unionism and proper rank and file activity. And all power to the people now that are going to get active, and I hope people are going to be enthused to join a trade union, to be active in that trade union and start the fight back. The most important thing that Sharon said to me when people were questioning her about her role with the Labour Party was the PLP never gave anybody a pay rise. Not quite accurate. They've given themselves some very, very nice pay rises over the year. But yeah, we've got to forget about, oh, it's barnstorming about the Labour Party and this. This is where the fight back starts. And I hope all comrades on this call are going to be active in their union, joining us on picket lines and campaigns, because, you know, the fight back has started and it's great news. I'm delighted.
Well, Well, thank you, John, and good to see you again. Now, I'm going to move on, talking about Sharon Graham's victorious campaign. We're going to talk to some of the people who campaigned for her, and who eventually, obviously, must be very happy about that, who are very happy about that. Firstly, I'd like to speak to Ozzy Osborne, not that Ozzy Osborne, but this Ozzy Osborne in Cambridge, who is actually the chair of Unite London and Eastern Engineering, Manufacturing and Steel Regional Industrial Committee, and he was Sharon Graham's campaign coordinator in engineering, manufacturing and steel. Is that right, Ozzy?
Yes, you got it right. Congratulations.
Thank you. Now, what do you think? Because I mean, to me, I'll be just honest. I thought that it was that she was going to split the left. There was this kind of narrative. What happened? Why did you think she won? Or did you ever think that there was a worry she'd split the vote and that Coyne would get in?
No, the only person splitting the left vote was Turner from day one, guaranteed. I mean, I think we should say how she didn't do it. There is no Cambridge Analytica here. There is no smoking gun. There is no behind-the-scenes secret weapon we had in our arsenal. Apart from, we talk to our members and we organise. It's just the basic things done with more discipline, rigour, and at a higher frequency. We talk to our members, we talk to our reps, we organise in the workplace. Now, a lot of the papers, the big mainstream media, don't really have industrial correspondence anymore, and they just literally look at the top of the Labour Party and the top of the trade union movement, and they don't give a crap about what goes on underneath. But there's a lot of stuff going on underneath. Reps started talking to each other, and that's how we did it. Now, I'm holding our secret weapon here. It's called a mobile phone. WhatsApp, massive WhatsApp groups, reps talking to reps and coordinating our campaign, and that's how we did it. That is simply it. I mean, I'm going to be very careful with my words here, because I know there are a lot of bruised egos on the union, certainly, but a lot of our officers aren't as active as they could be. Basically, they got the branch nominations in, but a lot of those branches were zombie branches. They literally reanimated for the purpose to get them over the line, to get the numbers up. And when it came to actually doing stuff on the ground, it was the members, the reps, organisers, officers who were supporting, but mostly the members.
Right. So, but I mean, how do you see this in other election sort of terms? Because we often think that it's, I mean, we often think that it's a top-down thing. How did she manage to get that to work against
by not being top down? I mean, I think you're asking the wrong question for starters. I mean, I'm not interested in the next election. I'm interested in beating Anderson. Okay, elections are a sideshow. We need an actual left inside the trade union movement that does socialist stuff. We need to build in the workplace, organise, and take on the bosses to win gains from members. Simple as that. I'm not worried about the next election. It'll happen when it happens. I'll be ready because I'll be talking to my members about it. So that's the first thing. And secondly, now we've got Sharon elected, and Sharon's campaign wasn't as much a top-down campaign as the other campaigns were, certainly. I mean, I'm just an assistant engineer, and I was around the campaign engineer, manufacturing and steel. There are other workers on this call who organise the campaigns in their sector, and there's lay workers who work on the shop floor. It's not an officer thing; it's an organiser, an activist thing. Sorry about the voice.
All right. Oh well, thank you. I'm going to move on to Therese in Ireland, who is in the education sector, and I can't remember the branch, I'm afraid. Therese, are you there?
Yes, Crispin, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can, yeah. Thank you for coming in from Ireland. Now, how do you see the campaign? How did it run, and what made Sharon so popular, do you think?
I think, Crispin, the big success story here in Ireland is that Sharon offered connection between the members on the shop floor, and as Ozzy has previously pointed, what was previous was the disconnect with the leaders in the trade union movement. That was a big selling point here. Also, the fact we wouldn't really have a huge interest in the British Labour Party politics, because that party is not in operation in the Republic of Ireland, and therefore, while it affects our union generally, the members on the shop floor here would tend to be somewhat disinterested in the politics of the Labour Party. So Sharon was speaking to the members, directly to the members. She was offering things in the form of, you know, what she would do in her manifesto would really hit home with them. And it didn't matter whether you worked in education, whatever, manufacturing, whatever sector you were in, there was something in it for everyone. And I think that's why she had a huge success in this region. Overwhelmingly, the branches in this region nominated Sharon, and that's a big thing. It wasn't necessarily the same in other regions, and it contributed to the overall win that she had. We're still a small region, so I'm not trying to claim that the region was the reason why Sharon won. She won because of her issues and what she said, how she spoke directly to the members. Sharon, I have worked with Sharon on the Executive Council for the past 10 years, and Sharon is someone whose office door has always been open. These are the reasons why I personally voted for her. You can always get Sharon any time of the day or night, and she's there to speak to you, no matter what your title or where you sit in terms of membership in the union. She's there for you. And I think that resonated with members as well. So all things considered, that would be where I see Sharon's appeal to the members.
Right, so because she was always there when you wanted to speak. She wasn't, and the door was open, and you felt that made her stand out from the others in some way.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for coming in from Ireland, and we've got on the call. We've also got Max O'Donnell Savage, campaigns officer at Sussex University Unite, involved in the youth side of the campaign. So, how did the youth side work in the campaign?
I think it worked in a similar way to the rest of the campaign, right? That it was actually about reps on the ground linking up. We had people from the four nations. We thought about what would be best to do, and I think the wonderful thing about Sharon's campaign is really those people on the ground were left to work out what political strategy would work for them in each of their areas. And I'm really excited about how that will translate into the overall work of the union, right? Because anyone who's been in a union knows the people who know the best are the ones in the ground, the ones on the shop floor. And actually, if they can be in a position to not only accept the kind of direction of the General Secretary's office, but to actually think about what strategies do they need from the union, what resources do they need from the union, so we can actually get back to having a rank and file campaign and union.
Well, and was there a good turnout from younger comrades?
We haven't. I don't think we've gotten any of the kind of detailed figures yet, but my view is that there probably was a good turnout. There was probably a better turnout, because I think, this whole question of splitting the left, I think, people looked at the last election, saw Coyne came very close. But actually, I think what a lot of that was a dissatisfaction with kind of the way the union was operating. I don't think necessarily there was this kind of 45,000 right-wingers in Unite voting for Coyne. It was actually a sense of, stuff needs to change. I think with Sharon, they saw a positive case for change, and I imagine a lot of young people came out for that.
So you think, in a sense, it wasn't about the left-right thing; it was about the way the unions managed. So that she went through that, she got that vote from people who wanted someone who's more accessible and open to grassroots.
Yeah, I think it was a sense that stuff needed to change, right? That really, we've been through a decade of kind of lost pay. We now have a Labour Party that won't be in government and also doesn't politically represent a lot of our interests. We've been through the COVID crisis, and actually what we need those people on the ground to actually feel that they can change, their workplaces, they can change their lives, they can change society. Because there's two ways of looking at this, right? Either 66% of people voted for a lefty, or you can look at it the other way and actually say 66% of people voted for something different. Whether that was the kind of pessimistic, narrow difference of Coyne, or the kind of open, optimistic difference that Sharon was offering.
Right, yeah, that's a good way. I can understand it much better from what you just said there. Thank you, Max, and I'm going to bring in Chris Rawlinson, branch secretary at the University of Sheffield, and coordinator for the coordinator for the education sector for Sharon's campaign. Chris, are you there?
Yeah, hiya.
Hi, Chris. What would you like to add? Anything to what's been said already?
Yeah, just a couple of things. I think on turnout, I think Max has covered it really well. I think one thing that, I mean, the analysis, I think, got it wrong every step of the way. At the nomination stage, last time round, you know, Len had, 10 times the nominations Coyne had. And then the vote was pretty evenly split with Len just edging it. So the nominations were, you know, it was a complete misreading to say that because Steve was ahead there, he was going to kind of the favourite candidate to win. In terms of splitting the left, I think another thing that, you know, Max has just touched on is that last time there was as much an anti-Len vote as a, you know, pro-Coyne vote. And this time that was missing, but also Len had a massive pro-Len base of support and personality, which Steve didn't match, I think. And I think on Sharon's campaign, I wasn't as kind of confident as John and the others. I think that's just because I'm a natural pessimist. But I didn't think we'd split the left. And I did think it was possible because the way we organised, you know, there were shop stewards and lay members who aren't even reps in their own branches out at 5 a.m. leafleting members going into work and finishing night shifts. In my branch, I just spoke to the sort of half a dozen reps and said, can you get this many votes? And they did. And that's, you know, how we did it there. And it really is worth saying that in terms of what it means for the left in the future. I know, I said this the other day to somebody, I know a Tory who voted for Sharon. I know a new Labour supporter who's very pro-Blair who voted for Sharon. And I'm a Marxist and I voted for Sharon. What we all have in common is we're all working class and we want to see the best for the working class. We have different ideas on which political, you know, faction represents that. But in terms of the actual union, we need industrial power. And I think the reason so many Unite members support the Tories, for example, is that there's a real disconnect and alienation between workplace issues and what we hear about in the media. And I think, you know, Sharon's platform of getting back to the workplace is exactly what the members have been calling for.
Right. Yeah. Oh, thank you for coming on. I might just bring Ozzy on again. Are you there, Ozzy?
Yeah.
So this thing about splitting the left, how did you feel when that was? Did that make you really angry when you thought that obviously Sharon was a likely winner, and to hear that stuff, was that how did you feel about that stuff?
Well, it always makes me angry because fundamentally it's a pessimistic position. It says, oh, vote for us, we're the best you're ever going to get. You're never going to get anything better. Get back in your box, you lefty so-and-so. It basically just says, do what you're told. And I don't believe that. I believe in putting a positive case to your candidate. If you think your candidate is the best, then tell me why he or she is better than other candidate. Don't tell me that you've got to vote for this person before the boogeyman gets in. It's like Darth Maul is dead. The Revenge of the Sith is not going to come back. There is no Phantom Menace. And it's like there's no Les Bayliss, for example. When Len Muskie got elected first time round, Les Bayliss was the candidate from the Anarchist AU section, and he was a horrifically right winger. He makes Coyne look like Lenin. And there is no more Les Bayliss. He's gone. Okay, the right wing monsters, the absolute worst of the worst, have gone. It's like there is no need to scare the little children with tales of monsters under the bed. They're gone. It's like we need to have a positive vision about our candidate. And people are saying that Sharon's campaign is not political. The place that trade unions win is in the workplace. We break the chains where they are forged. We live under a capitalist society. I spend 1/3 of my life, 8 hours a day, working for a boss to make him money. The world will change and politics will change when that changes. I get a pay rise. It's like that, not just me, workers at Amazon, workers at DHL, workers at Jaguar Land Rover, workers wherever Unite organises, wherever any trade union organises, the world will change when the workers get a bigger slice of the pie. The Labour Party is relevant. The unions have to do it ourselves.